We're here. We're here at the UTA show. Matt Welsh. We're unveiling his new G2 Raccoon Valley replacement nose, available in the 7.5 and 7.75. He's going to show us how to put one on today.
And they fit these forms.
They fit these forms. Yes,
Exactly.
specifically
Yep.
sculpted to fit these forms.
Exactly. Yep. So what I do, I go do these. I will just hold this up here, and I will kind of look where the bottom of the nostril opening is here and here, and I just hold that and line it up. Then I'll put the knife on the bottom of that nose, that replacement nose. I kind of get it started. And I make sure my distance here and here is the same. You want it level. Very carefully, I just take this knife and cut through that foam. And then I will bring that deer head down and I'll do the exact same thing from the top. I get the front of the nose on the mannequin to the front of the plastic nose cast. And sometimes you won't get it perfect, and that's okay. I go straight down. Okay. Then I'll test fit it, and I can already see I didn't go back enough. You can see the overlap. The distance here and the distance here is about the same, so I need to take a little bit more off the top and go down to basically nothing. Almost there. Okay. All right. So now we're good, and it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. You just want to make sure there's not too much foam left on there, otherwise it won't line up properly. But now I can fill the rest in with Bondo when I put it on there. But I just take my stout rougher and I rough this nose a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. You just want something for that Bondo to grab a hold of. And I rough the mannequin a little bit. Okay. Now I just take a little Bondo, and you can mix it out, scoop some out on a paper plate or whatever. I just had some in a cup. And that just happened to be white hardener. It doesn't matter. You can use any color hardener you want. And this stuff's a lot easier to mix if it's not in a cup. I actually prefer colored hardener when doing this because if you use white, you can't ever tell if it's fully mixed or not. So I probably end up over mixing it. Not that that hurts anything, but. Okay. Yeah. Put some on your tablecloth. I just smear a little on there, a little on the back.
That'll be all right.
And when I do this, I'm putting pressure down into those grooves so you can really smash that Bondo down in there, in those grooves that you just made with your stout rougher. And I don't know, I suppose you could use hot glue or anything else. This is just how I do it right now. So I'm putting my fingers on the edge of the plastic nose and the mannequin so you can feel and get that lined up. You can feel if you, so I'm pushing that back. So this is nice, easy transition. Thanks. And this is Bondo, so you want to work relatively, you know, with a little urgency, but you want to make sure you get it right also. Check the sides. And again, my fingers are half on the mannequin and half on the nose, and I'm feeling. And I look from the top because you want to make sure it's not twisted this way, but you should be able to see that looking from the front as well. Like I said, this nose lines up perfectly with these G2 mannequins. So you can get these. They have two head sizes right now, correct?
Yep.
This is your
7 3/4.
7.5 and 7 3/4. This is a 7 3/4. We have them for the 7.5 as well. That's pretty good. And I'll generally do this at the same time as when I set my antlers. So I only have to mix Bondo once, but if you're new to doing this, you may just want to start by doing the nose by itself until you get that down. Kind of making a mess now, aren't I? So we'll sit there and we'll let that kick a little bit. And then when that kicks, if you have any excess that's kind of oozed out or whatever, you can just take I usually keep like an old Sawzall blade or something to use as like a rasp. You could just use a knife or whatever. And if it's not fully cured, a lot of times you can just flake it off with your hands. But that is, I mean, super quick, super easy. And you have a cast off an actual real deer nose, you know, instead of carbon foam, and that took me 5 minutes. And what a lot of people, what I hear from taxidermists is they don't want to spend another, you know, these are $17, I think is where we're starting these, ordered through G2. And they say, I don't want to spend another $17 because that's $17 out of my pocket. And I think you have to educate your customers to a certain level in that show them that you use these cast off a real deer nose and say, that's why I charge $50 more. So now you're spending 17, but you're charging 50 bucks more, 100 or whatever you choose to do. So now that you're buying this, you're actually using it as a sales pitch to your customer to justify charging more. And customers don't know they need anything until you tell them what they need, right? So you want to educate them to a level that they can see some differences in your work versus the potential competitor. So I will show this to customers if they're asking questions and stuff. I show them this nose, and they don't even know it exists until you educate them, and then they think it's the coolest thing ever. Now they need that. So anyway, you can kind of educate them as to why they need certain things or why you charge maybe a little bit more than the other guy or what have you. But use this kind of stuff as a tool to make yourself more money, and it does end up being a better product as opposed to just dremeling out some foam. So, but anyway, that's basically it. You may have a little depression or something with the transition if you didn't cut it just perfect, which is fine. Before you pull the cape on, just get some clay. You can kind of fill that in. If you wanted to, you could get some epoxy sculpt just to blend that transition so you don't have a little divot where like where you might have cut your foam a little too far back or something. But basically that's all there is to it, and you have a really good nose and ready to pull the hide on. And I don't know if you can get in here on this. I'll show you one more quick feature. Can you kind of see that ledge in there? Are you getting that? So I've made these, there you go, thanks. They've got a bit of a ledge, and so before I completely tuck all that skin and glue it and everything, I will kind of test fit that skin in there. And I don't want that inner nostril skin to go up over that ledge. I want it to go up to it or a little bit short on it. So when that dries, you've got a very small area to fill with epoxy and do your finish work on. And it makes your finish work inside the nostrils so much quicker. So you become a lot more efficient as well. So otherwise, I don't know. I mean, it's super basic and really easy to do. You do a couple and you'll have it down. So has a really nice look to it, shape and everything. So
Perfect. Starting out at $17, and they'll be
17
shipping
bucks.
next week.
Yep.
So give us a call or order on the website. Thanks, Matt.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yep.